Welcome again to the Journey Podcast, the number one podcast in the country, my people. Welcome to a new episode. My name is Manzimba and I'm your host. And I'm so excited, guys, to be back here in the studio. You know, I have a big brother of mine in the house and I'm so excited to bring him to the podcast. You know, we've been talking about it for such a long time, you know, and he's been also away traveling, you know, doing his things. And I'm excited just to have him here. So, the one and only Moses Izabiriza, bro. Izabiriza, yeah. Moses Izabiriza, welcome to the house. Welcome to the Journey Podcast. You know, I'm so excited. You know, many people, I don't know, I've had so many friends here, and you're one of these artists that actually I wish people to know more their work, you know, because anyways, we're gonna have time to talk about this, you know. So welcome to the Journey Podcast.
Thank you so much, Manzi. I'm so excited to be here. So I'm so excited to share my experience. And yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. So Moses, you know, you are a fine artist. You do, like, for me, I never want to assume, like, when I talk to artists, like, oh, maybe I know you doing fine art, but you maybe do a lot of things on the side. So, because many of us in Rwanda, you find people are so multidisciplinary, you know, when it comes to art. So, me, I know you as a fine artist, and I've seen your work, visual artist, and yeah, and I was like, this guy, I need him on my podcast, and here you are.
Yeah, even me, I also wanted to come here, you know, share
I'm
my
excited,
experience, share my art career. You know, when you tell me, oh, bro, can I have you on the podcast? I was like, oh man, wow, I can't even hesitate to say yes. You know, I was so excited to come here, sharing my experience, share my journey of my career. Yeah, I'm so excited.
So now let's talk about who is Moses. You know, we are on a journey podcast, and it's always been a journey, and it's still a journey, you know. Let's talk about Moses. How did you get to be an artist? Is it something that is in your family? Is it something that actually you started when you were so young? How was the story of yours like?
Yeah, it's something that I started when I was young, when I was like in primary school. Yeah, so yeah, because I remember in primary school, I used to draw with the pen on the old desk in my classroom. Yeah, it's even took me into trouble because one day the teacher find out and give me a suspicion, and I just come back at school with my dad, and my dad was so mad, you know, because he end up by, you know, those desks at school. So yeah, it's I started at a very early age, and it wasn't easy, you know. It wasn't easy to convince your parents that you are artists. And also I've been also drawing all my exercise book at school. So it's something that I started when I was very young.
Yeah. Like, do you remember like the age when you started really?
Like around 8, when I was 8. And I also remember, I don't know if you're familiar with this, I used to make a toys car from wires.
Yeah. I've played with them when I was young also.
And then I can also sell them in the neighborhood, so they can pay me like, you know, 100. Back then it was much money.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. Wow,
it was 100. A lot of money. Yeah.
I mean, we were so young, but I can imagine it was a lot of money.
So I grew up like that, and also I have to do school, finish primary, go to the high school. So when I was in the high school, that's when I joined the art studio called Ivuka, which is bad, it's not longer there. So that's where I joined there. So I started to develop my career there.
So Ivuka was an art space, but now today we don't have Ivuka.
Yeah, it's no longer there.
Okay. So what was Ivuka like?
That Ivuka was it was like an art space that introduced like modern art when you can, you know, play with paint, with palette knife, bring like that strong textures, you know, and also break some barriers in art, just show like art is everything, you know. So it was really good, and those artists who were there, they were so brilliant. So for me, I think I'm lucky just to walk around them and to learn from them, sharing shared experiences.
Okay, because Ivuka, it's one of the art spaces you hear, you know, when you talk about art spaces that have been there for a while. For a while, I mean, like, did you have to like meet other artists, make friendships by the time?
Yeah, by the time I was young, those artists, they were senior artists. So so they were treating me as, you know, their young brother. So, and they can share you the experience, the knowledge. When you're working, they can come when you're working on the artwork, telling you, oh, you can use this paint, you can use this, it has this meaning. You have to give, even if I have a talent, but I didn't know how, like, you know, when you are doing your art, you have, you know, to reflect something.
Yeah.
You have to come with like good concepts, and then it can be like a part of you, and then it's gonna be easy to explain to someone. Yeah.
Nice. Because, you know, when I look about the art scene right now, you know, we have a lot of spaces. You know, we have Inema Art Center, Kunda Art, you know, KUURU. We have so many spaces. And do you think like by the time when we were young, you know, and now here you are, you know, and you have a lot of artists, when it comes to like the value of the art itself, do you think things have went even really like far in terms of like valuing African art, or still a long way to go?
Yeah, I can say for me how I see art nowadays in Rwanda, it's developing. And I can also say like Ivuka was like backbone of like the modern arts. It's just like, you know, open the eyes of everyone, showing like art is everything. It can go in recycling, it can go, you know, in performing, it can go like, you know, different, you can use different medias, just to identify yourself, and also to develop a style in art. Depends with the concept and the ideas that you have. So for me, I can say like, you know, back then it was like only Ivuka and other few art space, but now we have many art space. It means like we are developing, and even changing the mindset of our people, how they see art, how they think about art. So for me, I think, yeah, it's great. Even if we have like work in the process, we still have also a long way to go. Yeah, because there is some gaps in art industries.
Yeah, because I asked you that question because I saw this online museum. You know, I want to know more about the museum, like the one I saw Kanda was working on also.
Actually, Kanda did come up with that idea, and I think it's still in the progress. So I prefer not to talk much about that because it's still in the progress.
Okay.
And, I think it will be good to talk about it when they launched everything. So, you know.
So you're still cooking.
Still cooking.
Nice. Now let's talk about your last exhibition. You know, at L'Espace. When was that?
It was in March. March.
Yes, this year.
That was the opening. Yeah, this year. And I've been working on that project like from 2020 when the first pandemic started. Yeah. So it was, you know, the pandemic and COVID. It was, you know, like a tragedy. Like,
Yeah, it was a hard time.
Yeah, it was hard time. But for me, it also give me time to focus on that project. Yeah, to work on that project. And I started to work on in 2012. Yeah, after I came back from Nigeria from art residency.
Okay.
And I have idea before, but I didn't know like which way that I'm going to use tape measure. So I traveled to Nigeria, and it was an artist residence. So, and I got a chance to walk around Nigeria, learning about the lifestyle, the culture, and I found out like weaving its culture in Nigeria. So I go there. That's where I got the idea of using weaving technique to put those tape measures together. So I came back in January, and in January 2020, and then that's when I say, okay, I can use that technique, that weaving technique, to put all tape measure together. That's where the journey started of that project. And it was good that I was able to do the open exhibition to talk about the project that I've been working on within 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was really good work. I could just think a lot of thoughts, because the way you could see, the way you played with colors, the way, like, I don't know how to say this. You see the work. Weaving, and that reminded me, because I also had a grandmother who used to do that, weaving. And now talking to you, I see that the story is connected to your mother and time traveling. So it was
actually my mother was a tailor. So when I came up with the idea of tape measure, it's idea that came from my mother. And there's something that happened on you and you don't even know that. Sometimes you're gonna have the idea, but that idea starts long ago when you were a kid. Maybe it was something that you used to do when you were a kid, but you didn't know. And when you have the idea, like now you're going to say, oh, this is the new idea, but it's something that's, coming back from your early age. So, and I come up with that idea using tape measure, and when I was thinking about it, and then I say, oh, it's the idea. I was talking to my friends, like, I have this idea of using tape measure, and they asked me about the story, and then I found out, it's idea that starts from my mom. It's that I was touching that material when I was a baby, because the tailor always puts the tape measure here. So sometime my mother was breastfeeding me, and then I can touch the material, I can enjoy the material. So for me, it's something that's, it's like lonely but not alone. So even if my she's not here, I think she's here in the tape measure material. I'm celebrating her. And so that's why I combine that with also time traveling, because as I told you, the story, it's something from the past. So it means I can time travel in the past, bring those memories, bring that love between me and my mom, also bring the memories in the community where I grown up.
And also you giving us a privilege to get to experience your life through your work.
True.
So now it makes me curious, because I want to ask you, when you are in the studio, you are working on a project or on a piece, are you always into storytelling, or you just also sometimes you have, because maybe you are just exploring, how is your process, your creative process when you are creating?
You the idea come in your mind, and it always starts like exploring, because you can have the idea in your mind, but through the material, when you started to express that idea, you also find different ideas, and then idea is changing. For me, I can say it's like exploring. And the other thing I can say, it's also the part of healing. The part of, like, for example, you saw my artworks, they're huge, and to weave, it's not easy. It takes much time to accomplish the artwork. So for me, that weaving, that's, I can, weaving, it's easy. I can teach someone to do that, but I don't want that. I want me to take that time, weave by myself, because through that process, that's how, for me, it's therapy. It's therapy, it's way of life, because it's connected me to the artwork. I can, feel it, 100%. And also it's creates that love between me and the artwork. So I can also deliver the message easily, because I believe everything starts in you, in you, within you. If I have like bad feeling or good feeling, of if I talking about some stories, it means like it's my stories, but I'm talking about the stories, but the same stories with someone out there. So it's going to inspire them, it's going to help them to heal. So for me, I think my art is alive in general, and also it's part of healing to me and also to other people, because it's always start within you, and then you can also give that to the other people.
No, true said. I totally agree with you. And when we talk about that, it's not only in fine art, we see it also in performing art, and it's just amazing how art also can actually play a role in our everyday life, in terms of like healing, inspiring, and yeah. So now let's talk about your journey in the US, because you were in America right now. Which state were you? Why were you there? Because I saw so many posts online, and I saw so many artwork, so many projects you were doing.
Yeah, that was a good that was a good journey to go there. It was amazing. Yeah, I was in Nevada. I was in the state of Nevada. I was in Leno City. Yeah, Leno City is, so Nevada is have Las Vegas. It's close to Las Vegas, and also California state. So I just went there for summer class. It's a program called Mandela Washington Fellowship. It's normally it's helped the young entrepreneurs from Africa, regardless which discipline. Like you will be like musician, you'll be like a chief cooking. So you could be also like photographer, you could be like engineer, you could be the gadget, as long as you're doing something that's helping community. So you can have a chance to attend the program. So it was a good program, because they select like 700 young entrepreneurs in Africa. So and then they put us in different states in university. So for me, I was in the track of business. So where I was staying with 25 Africans. So which is good, from different countries, because I get a chance to learn more about them.
Yeah.
To learn, to understand the diversity, to learn more about the cultures, the languages from their countries. So for me, I believe like I was traveling in like 24 countries in Africa, and so I went there, I did the training, I finished the training, we graduate, we got the certificates. So, but for me, I decided to stay because I want to explore more about art there. So I was visiting museums there. I got a chance to see Picasso's artwork and Grandma Moses' artwork. So both of them, they're my inspirational artists. And also I organized the exhibition there. I approach one gallery because it's not easy, because you have to tell them before 1 year, because they have schedules.
Yeah.
And I approached different galleries. It wasn't easy. I approached them. They told me, "Oh, our schedule is busy. We couldn't find a place where we can exhibit." So, and luckily I got to one gallery. And then they tell me, okay, yeah, it's good. We are excited to exhibit the art from Rwanda, art from Africa. We need to see that perspective. And I exhibit there. So it was good. It was good. You know, it's something that's like you are representing your country. You are raising the flag of your country and your continents, and sharing them the whole stories from Africa. And you know, because it's funny, like when you say I'm from Rwanda, they think, oh, the first thing they told you, it's Hotel Rwanda, talk about genocide. And then I was like, no, why you don't talk about development? You know, we are the cleanest country in Africa.
Like actually, like the new Rwanda.
Yeah, the new Rwanda.
And I think it's also very important, like to have people who go out there, you know, like you and other artists, and represent and get to make people actually discover the new Rwanda, and to know actually Rwanda is not all based about Hotel Rwanda and everything. Yeah.
So it was a good journey. I learned a lot. I met different artists, good artists, and I can't complain. So I'm ready also to share what I learned from there, to share with the young entrepreneurs here and the artists in general.
Like, did you see any difference between like where you were in Nevada and Kigali, like in terms of like creating like studio spaces?
Yeah, there's a huge difference. So let's talk about, in America, it's a country of different diversity cultures. So, and that's the first difference.
Yeah.
And about the arts, also, compared to, they have many institutions of art. So they have that community of, let me say, like artists, and they're together, they stick together, they work together, and even the people there, they understand art 100%. You know, they know the meaning of art in the society.
You mean the audience?
Yeah, the audience. And they have museums. You can go in the museums, and museum of art, only art. So you can go there and explore more about the old artists and also the new generations. So for me, I think they have they are advanced in art, and you can also get a chance to see the different stories, because America, it's a diversity of different cultures. So you can hear stories from Africa, American, Asian, American, so and so and so and so. So it was good. It was good, and I learned a lot from.
Nice, that's nice. So now you just mentioned about like collective, like people working together. So how do you compare it like in Kigali, in Rwanda, when you see like artists, all of us in general, maybe like let's talk about in your field, like visual artists. Do you guys collaborate often, or you think there should be more of collaboration that need to be done?
For me, I don't even want to talk about only visual art because I just want to talk about the art in general, performing art, music, visual art, photography. Yeah. So for me, I think now we started. So recently I saw the exhibition of Daddy. So he performed there.
Yes.
Ari Ways was singing there. So I saw also the other artists who performed the poems. So it started, and even if we still have work in the progress, but it's starting here. So hopeful, like within like 5 years, it will be on the good standard.
See.
Yeah.
No, I think also it was really nice, like to see Daddy's work, to be able to bring us all together and performing, singing, and everything. Yeah, it was quite an experience to the audience, because the audience that was there, you could see that they were also enjoying the moments, and everything that was happening.
I was seeing you online and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, because I know all of you, like, you're so talented. And to gather that together and do something together, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
That's all we need.
Yeah, this is what we need in
our community. Yes,
our community. Yeah.
We need a lot of collabs, because I feel like most of the times we just meet on gigs, or we meet on a certain project. And I feel like it's also more entertaining and more actually connecting us when one of us does a project and we all come together and say, hey, I think I would need you on this. And it also inspires us more, to not limit ourselves or our creative minds, in terms of like being productive, with our disciplines.
Yeah, you also inspire each other. Like, sometimes you have potential, but you don't know that you have those potential.
Yes.
But when you in collaborating, we gather together, it's you can come to me and say, Moses, you can do this. I know that you can do this. I see the potential in you. You can do dance, for example. And then when I started to do dance, it's something amazing that I didn't know that I have that talent, And for me, I think it's good. It's something good that because you even inspire each other and also try to challenge each other to just bring out the best of, the best of you.
Yes. No, definitely. And you never know if you don't try,
Yeah.
You never know if you don't try. So now I want to go out of it a little bit. And as Moses, like when you are like introducing yourself to people, usually you introduce yourself as a visual artist or just a multidisciplinary artist. How do you do that?
For me, I can say like before I was saying, I'm a visual artist, but the more I dig deep in myself, try to know myself, I find out I can do different things. So for me, I introduced myself as a multidisciplinary artist, and
I thought so.
And also introduce myself as someone who used art to change lives of people, lives of society around me. Because I believe especially here in Africa, in Rwanda, there is many stories that need to be told.
Yeah.
So we still have many stories to tell. So, and I'm gonna use different medium to tell those stories. I can use acrylic paints. I can use, my body to tell those stories, in performing. So I can use recycling. I can use, there's many stories to be told, and also there's different medium and different way of art that you can use to tell those stories.
Well, that's amazing. But now it makes me want to ask you, like, do you meet challenges to be able to express, like in terms of like materials needed or spaces or just any challenge?
Yeah, there's a lot of challenge. There's a lot of challenge, especially in art in our country.
Yeah.
And I can give you an example of me. Like, it wasn't easy to identify myself as an artist.
Okay.
So, I remember when I finished the high school, I tell my parents that I'm going to follow my way of art. And then, the parents, they always want the best for you. And they were telling me, no, art is not going to pay you, artists, because, they don't understand art. They were telling me, like, my dad was telling me, you can do engineering, you can do this and this and this, you can go study business because it's going to give you a good standard of living. So, and they don't believe that you can do art and make money. You can go and dance, and make money and change the life of even the people around you. So that was also the challenge, but now I'm glad it's not easy because it's a process. The more I progressing, the more I come from one step to another step. So my dad and my family members, they start to understand, oh, okay, that's the art. It can make you travel, it can make you meet different people, important people. And so that was the challenge to me. And the other challenge that we have as an artist, let me say, like in visual artists, so we don't have art materials here. We don't have like art store where you can go and buy paints, so we end up go outside. We go to Kenya, to Uganda, or if you have a friend who's going to come to Africa, maybe from Europe or from America, just send them the money. Please, could you buy the material for me? That's how we get the materials. And I think we still also have lack of art institutions in Rwanda, like galleries that's on the standard of galleries, curators, art agents that are going to help the artists to sell their art, their work. And so it's not easy because you find the artist here do everything by himself or herself. You organize the exhibition by yourself, you do displaying by yourself, you do marketing by yourself, you just go there, talk to people about your art by yourself. So I think it's very hard to do that because sometimes there is something missed.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something missed because you can't do those things 100%.
No, you can't do everything 100%.
You can do everything 100%.
You can try, but I also think that's something actually we lack. We lack of those agents, and to be able to just, you as an artist, you focus on your work. Then you have a curator there and a producer who's just doing everything, and I think that also would resolve different issues and different challenges, and also would increase like more like opportunities, for everyone. And I think that's also, I see, not only in arts, I see it in different disciplines, even in dance, like
it's in art in general, dance,
everything,
everything. So
one day at a time. I think we just need actually many agents, and those sponsors to actually stop fearing investing in
art,
in African art, on the continent, and actually go for it. And I think that would also make it a game changer one day at a time.
Yeah, true. Because artists play a big role in our communities, especially here in Africa. And yeah, that's the challenge, because yeah, for me it wasn't easy, do everything
Yeah.
by myself. It wasn't easy. And the other challenge also we have, it's like I'm gonna talk about that hano mu Rwanda abantu gukunda art turacyafite urugendo runini. Yeah, we still have a long journey for our people here, to our audience here, to understand art and also buy art, also to convince them to buy art.
Sometimes I ask myself, sorry to interrupt, like, is it because people don't understand art, or is it that they can't afford it? These are
so
also
I can say, like, nowadays we are new generations. We have new generations, but for us, we do understand art. Some of they understand art, or some of them they go to study abroad. They get a chance to see like how the other countries give the value of art. So when they came here, so they do understand art, especially the new generation. But the new generation, we still, I can still say, like, we are still doing research. We don't have, like, financially we are not, we are still, try to be stable, try to have that good standard of living.
Yeah.
So they love art, they understand art, but to afford it, it's not easy. But let me say, like, the old generation, I can think they don't understand art, because and they're the one who have money, who can afford the arts. So I think that's the problem that we have. And but also I'm happy that the more we do exhibitions, the more we go out there, for example, do like street art, mural, many people come around you, ask more questions, because they're both young generation and old generation. They ask you like questions, they started to understand, artists, you can live by doing art. You can, artists can change society. It can, advocate about something that's not going well in the society. So yeah, it's a journey, it's a process. And I think hari igihe bizagera igihe abantu bakabyumva
cyane.
Hari igihe bizagera igihe abantu bakabyumva, kandi like, for example, I can give you this example, like, you have a family, started from our families, and also because what's happening in our country, like, many people, they are focusing on development because our country is developing so fast.
Yes.
So you have a family, you have a child, and I heard one story. One person come to me, approaching me in an exhibition, and ask me, how much is it, this artwork? And because it came from here in Rwanda, I try to be fair, and then I say, okay, it's 500,000 Rwandan francs. And then you say, I love it, but that 500,000, I can pay school fees of my daughter the whole year. I can buy, like, the sack of flies, so sack of potatoes, and put in my store, and my kids, they can eat, and also you understand that you have to understand that, because they're focusing on development of themselves, their families.
I totally understand.
And I think I'm pretty sure that there is, within like 5 years or 10 years, the arts in Rwanda is going to be on the good standard, and even the people here, they're going to start to afford the arts.
I hope so, because that gives me a vision of thinking, like, is there maybe a way of artists creating arts and consumers who also can't, like the man, as he said, that he could pay the school fees for his daughter, and to make it easier for also the audience to reach that audience that can't afford the actual art. And I don't know, there should be something done between there, like the people getting a chance to afford the arts, and also artists still getting to be able to transmit that art to the society, to everyone, for everyone to be able to consume it, and for also artists to be able, of course, to get something out of their work. That makes me think of, I don't know, which kind of way can we use to balance that,
For me, according my perspective, I think it's still hard, because even as for the artist, it's not easy buying material. Imagine months putting together one video, one episode of your dance, or let's say like a dance class. It's not easy.
Yes.
You have to invest a lot of money. You see, so that's why also sometimes you set the price of your artwork or your art classes, your dance classes, because it's not easy to put those things together, you know. So when you set the price, it's fair, because imagine like to buy material abroad, it's not easy. Sometimes you pay taxes.
I hear you.
You buy like materials like a camera and everything to do the video of your dance. So sometimes you pay taxes for those
of
materials.
Course.
So for me, I think like if also the government can involve.
That's a good point. That's also where I want us to go.
Try to make it easy for us, for example, not paying those taxes when you're an artist, or giving us like some art institution where you can go and use the space for free, So I think it's gonna also make you, it's gonna at least reduce the expenses, and then you can also, when you're setting price, you're gonna lower your price, and then it can be affordable. So we need something like a catalyst.
I like that point
easy,
of cultural spaces, those art spaces, actually giving an opportunity to artists to be able to exhibit their workspace for free, and it's still subjects to talk about it
it's
more.
Work in progress.
It's work in progress.
It's work in progress. Sure.
So I mean, this is very interesting. We've talked about different things, and it just makes me happy for people also who are artists out there to get to listen to your story or what you go through, your experiences, and it always makes me happy because I know we all have so many questions and so many curiosity about what we're doing, what we do, So now, what would you tell like to a person out there, who actually have their work and sometimes they don't know like how to put their work out there, in terms of like not only like social media, like just like if you would have like 2 tips, like how would you sell your artwork without using social media platforms, for example, not depending on the social media world right now?
Bro, that's a very hard question. Because now in this modern world, digital world, so everything is online, so it's online, and for me, I can say, it's just to believe in yourself, and also to make sure that you're going to deliver something different, something new in the society. And then you can organize the exhibition. Exhibition happening, but what's new? Exhibitions happening, but what's new that you are bringing in the society? What are you challenging?
Yes.
What is you challenging to the the society, to get to challenge them to see things in another perspective, because that's what we do as an artist. We break the barriers, so that's what I can, to be unique, bring something unique, and challenge the society, so I think, because it's gonna be hard for the audience to understand, but the more they look at your art, the more they understand, they hear about your philosophy, they're going to understand that. And I think everyone wants change. When you come in your unique form, so everyone, it's going to take time to understand, but we want change, and art change every single time, every second, art change.
No, I like that, and I feel like it is not only.
Sorry, you have to be on social media. I'm telling you.
No, of course.
So that's sometimes I even sell my art on social media. So these past 2 years, I've been, I make money from social media. So yeah.
No, definitely. I totally agree with you, because my work is also online. It's just for me to think another way. Before I get to go online, before I get to use all these platforms, how can I actually be able to meet someone and sell my work? Or how can I get myself out there? Do I have to actually do a street exhibition? It's just to think all those thoughts, because sometimes I think we live in a very speeding world, when it comes to digital platforms and everything. And I feel like sometimes we forget that before all this comes, we also had ways artists were still selling their work before everything comes. So it's also to I don't know, I try to think to find a way to balance this, to think about, okay, I'm privileged to have all these online platforms, but I'm also privileged to also have this side where I can work without having this. So just thoughts of ways that we can take advantage of both sides.
Yeah, for me, the key things, it's what I mentioned, above. So it's just be unique. Make sure you are delivering something different in a society. Give them the different perspective and challenge their thoughts. So I think that's the key. That's the key. Because we need something new.
Respect, brother. Respect. Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. And so I just want to tell young generation out of there, believe in yourself, and don't corrupted with comparing yourself with others. Just be yourself. I think that's what I can do.
Be yourself. No, definitely, I totally agree. We should be ourselves and tell our own stories in the way and the form we think we wanna tell it, and also where we feel comfortable.
Sure.
So bless up, brother.
Thank you so much, brother, for having me here.
Yeah.
For putting me out of my comfort zone,
bro, it's always a pleasure. This is
so I'm so excited, and blessings to you, and keep contributing to our community and
my
art
pleasure.
Industry. I really appreciate.
Blessings, brother. This is my pleasure. We have to keep all these archive and write our own history. So
Definitely.
and let's talk about your social media handles, because people who are listening to this episode, it's the first time they get to know who is Moses. They want to follow you on Instagram. All your handles. If you use Twitter.
I use I don't use Twitter. I use Instagram, Facebook. On my Instagram, it's Moses Izabiriza, both of my name. Facebook, Izabiriza Moses. I use LinkedIn, so it's Moses Izabiriza also. And so even me, I'm still learning more about digital social medias, how to use them, to also to make money, how to package yourself. As
we said, it's a journey, bro. It's a journey. All right, my people, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for taking your time. It's always a pleasure to be here on the microphone, like talking with artists, and also get to have a platform where we can share our thoughts and our ideas and our stories and our just everyday life, experiences we live in. So much respect and love to everybody who take their time always to tune in, and make sure you subscribe, you subscribe on our YouTube, The Journey Podcast on YouTube, and make sure that you listen to this episode. I'm so excited, and I don't know, I just want to tell you guys that I really appreciate you guys, and I want us to be a really big community, and reminding you guys, you can always find this episode to major big platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many more. So I was Manzimba, your host, and I want to tell you guys, see you to the next episode. You were listening to the #1 podcast in the country, The Journey Podcast. Much love and respect.
Yes, sir.